Welcome to the walkthrough of our lovely motorhome. We're just going to go inside the van and start showing some of the major features inside. We will go outside and continue later on. Oh, isn't this exciting, guys? Here we are. So I want to come right to the back here and sort of show us some of the features at the back. We've got loads of storage here all through the van. Just make sure that when you drive, you've got those pushed in. Up the top here, we have one of our 3 vents, which you can open to get some airflow in. Make sure that when you're driving, these are always closed. And also consider closing them if we get a bit of rain, because, well, rain can find its way into places. Just walking back a little bit further, we see our back bed. It's currently in bed mode. We can, I won't do it for this video, there is a table here which we can extend up and then turn it into a lovely table at the back. Probably the most important thing you want to work out is where all the electronics, all the gadgets work. So under here is our main control. And here we've got a whole heap of things. We have a series of switches which will turn on and off all the systems. Generally speaking, we'll start with these. Our first one here, the fridge. Typically you'd leave that fridge on. All the other ones, generally speaking, you only turn on when you need them and then turn them off once you're finished. This will just give you a little bit more power when you're not plugged into mains power. So we're going to start actually with the fridge. We've got the fridge turned on, and let's talk about its operation. So down here we've got a series of buttons. There's an on-off switch here, so always make sure that that's on. There's a magic button here called AES. AES is auto mode, and it will find its best power source. Currently, it is showing it's plugged into mains power, 240 volts. When you disconnect from that, it will then hunt for its next best power source. This could be gas. For the gas to operate, we need to go outside and turn the gas on. Remember, if you are running from gas, you need to turn it off before you drive. Also, top tip, make sure that you're on a relatively flat surface for the gas mode to work well. There is also a battery mode. The battery mode will turn on automatically when you start the engine. Over here we have a series of buttons to put this at its coldest setting, or you can bring this back a little bit. Do remember this style of fridge, they can be a little bit slow to cool, particularly drinks. So a little top tip from us is try and buy your drinks cold to start with. Just opens. As you see, we've got a lovely fridge and freezer section there. If you're stopping for a short period, you may not need to worry about it, but if you are stopping for a longer period of time, you may want to go outside, turn the gas on, just to keep this cool. So, that's our fridge. I'll come over to the next one here, which is water pump. If I turn the water pump on, all of our systems will then start working. You'll hear the pump operate. That is a very high consumer of power, so when you're not in use, that little top tip, leave that one turned off. When you do have that one on, we do need to manage how much water we're using. We have an onboard tank, which is approximately 100 litres. Up the top here, we have our control for it. So there's a little test button. And you see there, all those green lights show us that the tank is full, and as you use that, they will come down. I recommend every second day filling that up. Make sure particularly we don't get it to fall down, particularly underneath that second bottom one. If you draw air into the system, the pump won't turn off, and the only way to fix that is to fill up the unit, and you may need to bleed, i.e. run, all of the taps from both cold and hot until we get that air out of the system. So real top tip, always keep an eye on that, and every couple of days fill it up. So that's our water pump. Now the next one over here is the water heater. The water heater on this unit operates in two modes. One mode is automatic. If you plug into mains power, it will turn on automatically. You'll have hot water within half an hour. A great question, how do you know you're plugged into mains power? Well, there's a few ways of doing that. We've plugged the power in, we'll show you that on the outside. If you come up to the top here, if we see our light on and the green light on, you know it's operating. Another nice easy way of knowing this is on is things like the microwave will turn on. If you don't have mains power and want to turn on the hot water system, we'll need to do this via the gas system. So we'll go outside, turn the gas on. In here, I will turn on the water, of course. I will then turn on the power to the hot water system. And over here is the switch that operates it. It's a three-way switch. It's currently in its 0 off position. All you need to do is push that up into the 60-degree mode. You'll hear a clicking sound behind you, and the unit will then attempt to light. It may take some moments. If there's a failure, a red light comes on, as you see here. Red light typically means perhaps the gas is not turned on. So if you see this, we would go through, we would turn everything off, go outside, double check the gas, then come back here and try that same procedure. Again, within about half an hour, you've got lovely hot water. Next one over, the toilet. I'll talk about that one in a moment. We'll just continue through here. Next one here is the lights. Turn the lights on, and then all of our lights will then turn on. There's individual switches on them. You can turn them on and off as you then need to. Next one, range hood. This will turn on both our extractor fan and a light, and also then operate our gas unit here. Opening this up, you do see we can, if you're plugged into mains power, just use the electric. If we go outside, turn the gas on, we can then use our two gas units. The rest is, I think, relatively self-explanatory. There is a stove there as well. We'll come back, we'll close that one off. Last one, media. Got a little bit on the media just to run through. So the moment I turn that on, our USB ports here will start operating, and depending on the version, you'll have additional USB ports possibly behind the TV. The operation of the TV is very simple. All we simply do is turn the unit on. And on the remote control, we've got a series of buttons, but there will be one called mode or input. And from here we can select our different sources. If I want to use normal, regular digital television, you will need to retune this each time you use it, because you're in a different area. We do find the normal TV doesn't operate that well unless you're in CBD type areas. If I come down to media, if I come over to movie, I've got a USB hub in the back. If you come down here, I've got several videos, including the one that you're watching, that you can run through. Now finally, if you come up to HDMI and enable that, within a couple of moments we'll have a screen mirroring device. with all the instructions of connecting your phone or your tablet directly to it. The unit itself will also have a DVD on the side. There is, a little bit hard to see here, but I'll make this work. There is a pin that we can pull out and then move this around to suit your needs. Really important that when you come to drive, that you make sure that it's firmly connected and secured so the unit doesn't move when you drive. So that's the TV. Last bit of tech here is a radio. I'll just turn this on. It does support Bluetooth, so a great little thing to connect it to your phone and operate from there. The main button to press to get to the Bluetooth tuning button is this little fella here. You can then select your phone and go from there. Whoops, bit of music going. Just get out of that. Now, once you've started playing, hope you like some Jimmy Buffett, guys. I have, if I use the volume knob here, you'll see I have speakers inside and outside. By pressing the button, I can turn on the outside speakers, do both, or just the inside speakers. So lots of features there. So have fun with that, guys. A few other just major features while we're here. If you are plugged into 240 volts and things aren't working, do remember we do have a safety switch here. Just double check to make sure that that hasn't tripped.